Howdy folks, it's Monday, and as I promised, we're going to take a look at the Kobra 2. I'm going to go over with you what I did. I think we got perfect product coming off it right now. It'll be the very first time it's ever even done that. Cell phone's ringing. Spam call. Here, watch this. Hey, Homicide Division. You hung up. That's how you get rid of spam callers. They won't be calling back. Well, we're here over at the I guess we'll call it the Kobra world over here. This is the Kobra Max, this one here. And it's doing a fantastic job since the day it came in here. It's just doing absolutely great. I'm happy with it. This one here, I ordered it from Anycubic, but it was a refurbished Kobra 2 Plus. I was going to have a little trouble with that one, but it's never produced a good part. Now today, early this morning, I ran another one, a test, I guess we'll call it, which is this sort of, flat piece of plate thing, whatever. But what I'm really looking for is this smooth finish on top. And in order to get that, I've got to print it this way, of course, on the bed. Anyways, it was making a mess. There was gaps and all kinds of mess on here. So anyways, the very first thing I did was I noticed that, moving this plate back and forth was you actually had to put muscle in it pretty hard or it didn't want to move. So I went through the machine, and of course with the handy dandy little wrench that they include, I adjusted and loosened off every bearing on the machine until everything moves, even this, moves really easily without any issues. So that was like the first step towards, let's see what we got to do. Now there's another little trick here that I'm going to show you this, but this belt could be too tight or too loose, one or the other. So when you sort of play it with a guitar string, it's kind of like a low E, kind of a boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you can hear it at all, but yeah, I don't know if you can pick that up a little bit, but that's the sort of sound you want to hear. It's not too tight and it's not too loose, because again, that can cause a lot of issues that are going to show up, with our, a lot of problems on the print. And the other thing I did was I changed software. Now I didn't use their slicer this time. What I did was I used the regular standard Orca slicer and set it up for the profile for this machine, used the default settings, and then ran it. And of course, you can see this absolutely smooth all the way across, no gaps, nothing missing. Now, if anything looks weird here, that's just support material still in the model. I haven't cleaned it. There's no reason to clean it or anything. In fact, I didn't even let it finish the print because there's no point. I don't need any of this stuff back here. It was like, just stop at this point and let's have a look and see how we're doing. And I let the machine cool down and then peeled it off. And it was like, you know what, we've got what is totally, it's a nice, it's a perfect, it's exactly what I need. If this machine would produce that kind of finish all the time, then we could use this machine for production needs at all times. Obviously, we wouldn't be running lavender, but, we would be running. Using the Orca Slicer software I don't think that was the issue. I think it was all about just the bearings and everything were just too tight. The belt was way too tight. And I think that was it. The whole reason this started up was I wanted to try to actually use this machine since I've had it here and I haven't been able to do anything with it. And the other thing I did, of course, was I jumped out the, here's a little filament runout sensor, jumped it out, took the Bowden tube out of here, and just ran this straight in from above. And this is, like I said, there's a little kit right here that just feeds the filament straight down to the extruder, because the filament runout sensor, I kind of don't use it. Now, this one here on the Max, the Kobra 2 Max, I want to do the same trick, but the problem here is this one here, I don't have that particular way to feed it and stuff. And I was like, you know what, this machine is doing such a great job. And this is where life with 3D printing farm or whatever comes into, you sort of don't want to screw with anything. It's like, if you're getting perfect product, don't mess with it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of idea. So with that thought, the problem was, I don't want to get into this. But at the same time, it was like, again, we don't use the filament runout sensor. I actually babysit these things when they get down near the end so that I can pause on the controls, pause the system, change the filament with the spool, and just go back at it kind of thing. And I tell you the truth, I haven't had any problem with that. Now, we did have something I might bring one in yet, I don't know, but there's one that actually feeds the filament be right behind the filament. I tried that once on the Kobra Max, and it actually ended up having to take all this apart because it actually, the cutoff flipped inside the gears, the new piece jammed, wouldn't go in, and the whole thing sort of, made a mess. But that's the story on the Kobra 2 Plus. So we actually got her working. The other problem I've got with any of these machines is these USBs that they include with them, or even if you get an aftermarket, if this looks like this, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a piece of crap. It really is. And I'm going to show you a USB that works fantastic over here, and that's this one right here. It's really small, it's really tight, 16 gig, and it goes in nice and tight to the USB. There's no slop, there's nothing to play with in here. This thing here, if it's not dead center, it will actually say that there's a corruption in the file, that there's a problem or something. And what it is this right here. It just doesn't make a good connection no matter how I mess with it. And kind of upset with that because I ordered an aftermarket set of these from ScanDisk thinking I would get better ones, and they're the same. They're identically with the same problems. I'm not too happy about that. But yeah, that's so that's the update right now, at least for now. The Kobra 2 Plus is now can now possibly become a production machine for me that could actually make parts that I can use. Okay, boom, we're over here, but I forgot to mention, the last thing I did do was to run the auto bed leveling program in the machine a couple of times over, just checking it. And it didn't need to be adjusted, but it seems like the max gets out every, about a month or so apart. Every month or so, you sort of have to run that auto bed leveling, and then everything seems to set up right in the software. And it's like, okay, good, we're good to go. We've got just the right amount. So it was like, I had to do that a couple times on it and checked it, and it was like, yeah, the auto bed leveling is working, and it's setting it right where I need that, right where I need the nozzle to be. Somebody had suggested changing the nozzle, and yes and no. The machine came in refurbished, which includes a new nozzle. So it was kind of like, let's just, assume, yeah, there's that terrible word. Let's assume the nozzle is new, that it should be okay. That's not a new nozzle with a problem. And as I can see, it's like I say, it's printing exactly what I need. That one surface area is really all that we care about. If the back was a little lumpy or screwed up or whatever, it wouldn't, it could be furry, whatever, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't really matter. What the client wants to see is that nice smooth surface on that one side, and we got that. So it was like, yes, okay, good. The next item up for grabs. Oh, that's Deep Lee, by the way, PLA. That's what we ran just for test purposes, the lavender. nice color, really pretty, but I sort of don't really have anything that I can think of to run off with lavender. It's just not working. But the next step from this will be to run the PLA Plus from like Anycubic, or I've also been using, I've been buying from Polymaker. Now, I've got a little bit of an issue going on there too. I was trying to get away from the Chinese companies and use like a US company out of Houston, the Polymaker, like, oh, we'll buy their stuff. And so far, every box that has come in from Polymaker has said, made in China on it. And it's like, that's not really what I'm looking for. I was looking for a consistent local supplier that I could depend on for filament. So what I'm doing is I'm buying Anycubic PLA Plus and also the Polymaker PLA Plus for the time being. That's about what I'm cornered into, and the reason is we're not having the failures that we were seeing from some of the other companies. I really liked the price on that Easy PLA from, I think it's Overture, I believe it was. So some of the other companies that I did like, I would like to be using or buying from, unfortunately kept showing problems, warping mostly, just mostly warping, and also supply problems, issues. And I'll just give you an example. The Overture, I buy the red all the time from them, and it was like we were having warping issues with them. And then all of a sudden, I ordered a couple of spools, and it was like I got this notice saying, it's in shipping. And then for days on end, it was in shipping, it's in shipping, it's in shipping. I'm a 3D print farm. I need it. If I order it, it probably means I need it within a day or so to get back to production. And in fact, we're shut down. We just finished this morning, I guess around 10 o'clock or so, and stopped the print because I'd finished what I needed to catch up with an order right now. And it was like, okay, we can stop for a bit. We can, you know, film without these screwy machines running right now and all the noise and stuff. So it was like, good. I guess one of the things I was trying to suggest in the last few weeks too was like, when you're a 3D print farm, you look for a machine that's consistent, that gives you the same good print over and over and over again. And you don't want to get into, oh, let's try upgrading this or try upgrading that. Generally, I sort of steer away from that because I don't want to interfere with production. Because if you screw something up and all of a sudden you can't produce parts, you've got a problem. Which reminds me, I have got another order that I need to set up on another machine, on the SK1 as a matter of fact. I've run out of, I've run out of parts on it. So. And we just filled an order and it's like I don't have any more, so I've got to start pumping parts off the SK1 again. And I've got a problem with it because the filament needs to be dried first before I can run it. And yeah, drying filament is really funny. I've got the Creality dryer and I have to use it, but what I'll do is I'll usually run it for several hours just before I'll even put it in, and then I'll take a good 3, 4, 5 feet of spooling off the machine first, cut that and trash it, and then start, you know, feeding it in. Because if it starts to get hard and crack or split or anything, it'll goof up, and then you've got a heck of a mess to clean up inside the machine sometimes. And I've had those days. Anyway, I got to put the SK1 to work, so I guess we're going to call this the short one today. But it was because I promised to, you know, let you guys know how I made out with the Kobra 2 Plus. Thanks for watching Company Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell. I'm out of here for now. Over and out.